They got their own dancing. So there you go.
Welcome everybody to episode 3 of the XyCast. I can't believe we're still going. We're like a train that has no driver and it just keeps going. And I can't wait till we run off the rails. But this is episode 3 of the XyCast. Our guests later will be the Blossom twins, Hannah and Holly. So that will be exciting. We're going to try not to kill Eddie this time, but I can't make any promises. So as always, I am with Eddie and Brian.
Sup?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. You guys want to jump into the news?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Wrestling news. Let's see. Chris Jericho's Twitter account was hacked and changed to @GayChrisJericho. It has since been fixed, but his Instagram was hacked again as of May 26th. So pretty interesting stuff. There was some very explicit kind of horrible stuff posted on his Twitter. Some of it calling out Chris Jericho, others just randomly stupid crap.
And a lot of the fake news and stuff on his Instagram.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. That's Jericho needs to lock that shit down.
There was one of Rollins' dong logged on and it was like right there.
Great. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. Great.
Word of advice to anybody that hasn't looked already, but do not go to the Twitter page for @GayChrisJericho unless you want to see a lot of penis.
Yeah. A lot of penis everywhere. So yeah, that's exciting. The WWE Warehouse show on YouTube will be returning this summer. Joey Styles noted on Twitter that he and the WWE archivist are filming a new episode during the first week of June. I actually liked that show. It was cool seeing. It was cool seeing all the old props, the SmackDown fist, and all that stuff.
I've actually never watched it. I don't think I've watched any of their YouTube shows actually.
You should go watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. When I heard that they were bringing back a YouTube show, I thought it was what's the one where it was Road Dogg and Josh Matthews? But I guess they can't because Josh works.
Are You Serious?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Are You Serious? I thought they were bringing that back, but they really can't without Josh Matthews, and since he's working for TNA, it's not possible. But that show was actually pretty funny. It was like they were making fun of themselves as a company.
And in other news, there is a Tough Enough app available. If you have not downloaded it, go download it right now. It is the best app to date. Am I right?
I want WWE to come out with more apps. Just come out with app after app. Just random shit. I just want apps. I want an Elimination Chamber app. I want a Money in the Bank app. I want a Booker T app.
I would use the Booker T app.
The Booker T app could like commentate on your everyday life. Oh man, he's out there. He's getting dinner right now.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Shucky ducky quack quack. Oh my god.
Speaking of apps,
yeah, what? Yes.
WWE announced plans to discontinue their second screen experience within their WWE app, and I know Eddie is really sad about this one.
Well, I mean, so they're still going to have a main app, right? They're not getting rid of the app.
Right.
Just that part of the app, right? Yeah. So I was going to say, I'm going to miss the days when Michael Cole told us exactly how to install the app because nobody knows how to do that. Smartphones are hard. All right. Yeah. So the footage that they showed during the commercials will instead be available on various other platforms like WWE.com, I think YouTube, something called Periscope, which Twitter bought for like $10 million or $100 million or whatever.
I've never heard of that before in my life.
Yeah, me neither. But now the owners are millionaires, so
Yeah.
Fuck us, right? So the rumors about Sunny signing a contract with Vivid to do an adult film. Apparently,
I'll cover my ears.
earmuffs, Eddie. Apparently, they're just rumors. She posted the following on her Facebook page. FYI, there is no definitive decision of me doing any kind of video. I was approached, but no decision or negotiations have been made. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. If you do, you're more stupid than you already were. So yeah, Sunny, it's just a rumor that she might be doing porn. But you know what? She did say that she was approached, and I'm pretty sure she'll eventually sign. I don't see why not.
It seems like something she would do.
Yeah. The WWE Network will exclusively air a Daniel Bryan documentary called Just Say Yes, Yes, Yes. Yes! Yes!
I'll be watching.
So this is interesting. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T recently unveiled his new G.I. Bro comic series at this past weekend's Houston Comic Palooza Con. His new book is based on one of Booker's very early characters of the same name, which debuted for Ivan Putski's Western Wrestling Alliance in the early 90s. Oh, I didn't know it. That's when it first debuted. I thought it was made up for WCW. So the 5-time WCW champion will be bringing G.I. Bro to all the various comic cons around the county. You can order your copy soon on realityofwrestling.com. So there's a free plug for them.
I'm looking forward to that because I'm huge into comics. It may suck,
I'm just
but
recently I'm starting to get into comics now, so maybe I'll pick that up and take a look. But I want to see more wrestling comic books, and not like the ones that WWE comes out with where they're just, I don't know, they look dumb. But like this one, this is interesting, you know, like just have a wrestler be a superhero with an alternate identity. It's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, by the way, we're on iTunes now, so yeah.
We're also on Instagram.
Yes, and on Twitter.
We are taking over social media.
We got to get on Periscope. That seems like a thing.
We're taking over Tout.
Let's bring back MySpace.
No.
MySpace.com/Xylot.
Create it.
I ain't messing with MySpace. They suck.
So a fan has set up a GoFundMe account for ECW original Axel Rotten. And thanks to mentions from Chris Jericho and Jim Ross, the page so far has raised $1,055 of their $12,000 goal by 35 people in 21 days. So Axel Rotten had his back give out on him in late October of last year, and since then he's been hospitalized at Peninsula Regional Medical Center in Salisbury, Maryland, to receive daily physical therapy. He originally hoped that he could resume his pro wrestling career and walk again, but doctors have now informed him that surgery is unavoidable. Axel Rotten requires 2 spinal surgeries on his cervical vertebrae, and if the surgeries are not a success, doctors say he could spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair.
That would be pretty bad.
Yeah. He exhausted all of his medical coverage and cannot pay his bills since he can't work, which is why they're asking fans for assistance. Rotten is also looking for funds to help make his home wheelchair accessible for, when he eventually does get to leave the hospital. The GoFundMe page notes that Rotten is clean of all non-medically prescribed drugs these days, and he is both emotionally and mentally in the best place he has been in years. Unfortunately, he is, though, physically at his lowest ebb. So you can find the GoFundMe page at gofundme.com/Axel Rotten. That's AXLROTTEN, Axel Rotten. And donate if you can, or at least spread the word.
Definitely. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him, but go get on YouTube and just look up interviews with him. Just anything with him being himself and not a gimmick. And he seems like a really nice guy. Yeah,
he does. At the very least, I wouldn't want to be in that position. So I urge everybody to help if they can, because he deserves to at least walk again, or if not, at least have his bills paid for, because medical bills can be really tough. So.
Yep.
So on this past Raw, the cameraman that Dean Ambrose attack, thanks to Seth Rollins, was portrayed by Ring of Honor regular Will Ferrara.
I'm not familiar with him.
I don't know him either.
I don't.
The last name sounds familiar.
I've heard the name. I was on what was I on the other? Some website the other day when I was looking for some themes to buy, and that's the first time I heard the name, because I found his Ring of Honor theme, or a team that he's a part of or something, and then later found out that he was the cameraman that got attacked.
Interesting. So recently, WWE pulled 2 of their T-shirts, one for Hideo Itami and one for Becky Lynch. The Becky Lynch shirt said "Last Kicker." They removed the shirts for men and for children. I'm assuming because they didn't want men wearing a T-shirt that said "Last Kicker," and non-wrestling fans would not know what that meant and would probably take it the wrong way. But, I mean, "lass" obviously is a slang term for girl or young woman. Jay Hunter from the Old School Wrestling Review tweeted, "Are you Scottish and a wife beater? Then Becky Lynch's new tee is the one for you." And as for the Hideo shirt, apparently some of the Japanese characters were incorrect, so they pulled it to fix everything. Thanks to Brian for learning that.
I'm curious what it said.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? If we have a picture, I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, post it somewhere for us, and I can try to see if I can find a translator that lets you type in like Japanese characters, and I want to see what it says. Maybe it says, you know what it probably says? It probably says, "Damn your old mother, Cena."
You're never gonna let that go, will you?
Damn your old mother, Cena. Hulk Hogan recently went on a press tour and mentioned that he's training for a match for WrestleMania 32. It's rumored that he'll be going up against John Cena. And he also hinted at his next movie project, according to Uprocks. During a Q&A session at Body Pro Expo in England, Hogan indicated that he's up for a villain role in the next Expendables movie.
I don't want Hulk Hogan to be in the Expendables.
I mean, aren't those the movies with like all the like old action hero movie actors? They're just all just clumped in at once.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. So I mean, it's perfect for him. Hey, let's add Hulk Hogan to the mix. All right, he fits in perfectly.
I can't see him as a bad guy, even if he does do it. That seems unusual.
Wasn't he a bad guy in one of the Rocky movies?
Yeah, he was. God, I've never seen any of the Rocky movies, but it was Rocky 3, right?
I think so.
He was Thunder Lips.
That's it. Yeah, Thunder Lips. Weirdest name ever.
It is pretty strange.
So, WWE.com added a poll asking fans if Seth Rollins deserves to use Triple H's pedigree move. With over 16,000 votes, 70% voted no. He is not worthy of the pedigree.
He's really bad at doing it.
It's really bad. I don't. He needs to come up. He needs to use his own move. I mean, it makes sense for like the pedigree to like be handed off to him, like some kind of torch, you know. But I don't know. He doesn't do it well, and I don't know.
Well, if they wouldn't have banned the curb stomp.
I know. There's no reason for that. You know, Sheamus's brogue kick can do a lot more damage than the curb stomp, and it actually looks worse in some cases. So, if he can keep the brogue kick...
It was his first time doing the pedigree, so, you know what I mean? Give him a couple more times.
Christy Hemme reportedly gave her notice to TNA and will be leaving soon. She will reportedly be working a great job outside of pro wrestling. Hemme has been with TNA since 2006, most recently working with Creative. There was some speculation that she may still work a role at TV tapings, but that's not confirmed, and most people believe she's leaving altogether. So, Christy Hemme giving her notice.
Who's going to be replacing her on the ring announcement? They can't do JB because that would be like overkill for him. Oh well.
Yeah.
He left TNA.
They can have Taz do the ring announcements.
Well, if she does leave, she won't have to worry about anybody humping her face anymore.
That was a mistake because she made a mistake.
Her mistake was the mistake. His mistake was intentional.
And that was probably because they were live on television at that point.
Yeah. Let's see. Jim Ross revealed on Twitter this weekend that he will be recording content for future podcasts this week. His upcoming guests will be none other than veteran TNA announcer Mike Tenay, Bret the Hitman Hart, and former WWE diva Tori Wilson. I honestly can't see that I've listened to his podcast yet. I finally caught an episode of Steve Austin's podcast. Apparently he has 2 every week. One is like explicit. The other one is supposedly family friendly, even though he still swears on it. It was the one with Dixie Carter. It was pretty interesting to listen to. But Jim Ross's I haven't listened to yet.
The Dixie Carter one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Still yet to listen to part 2 though.
Yeah. So somebody made some fake nude photos of Alexa Bliss, WWE NXT diva. She took to her Twitter account to address them and said, quote, "The risque photos on the internet supposedly of me are totally bogus. I am offended by these altered photos and demand that they be removed immediately." So, kind of sad that they're not real.
They were actually posted on her ex-boyfriend's forum like 70 months ago.
Well, they're not going anywhere. Once something's on the internet, it's there for good.
Exactly. Just like the whole Destination America thing with Dave Meltzer. I'm not going to get into that because I'll go into an entire big rant.
Oh, God.
And I do not want to do that. I might actually tape that. I don't know.
You know what though? Google any female celebrity, and even some of the male ones, and you'll see that almost all of them have some fake nudes of them somewhere. I did a quick Google image search, and they all look really, really fake. It's like, can't you learn how to Photoshop? You know. All right. Kevin Nash took to his Twitter during Monday's episode of Raw and mentioned that he would like to have his retirement match held inside of a WWE ring. He also said that he would like to have a build-up similar to how HBO does for their boxing and have it air on the WWE network. He has a really big ego, but I think it's deserved. I could actually see that happening.
Yeah, it may happen. I guess they would make it one of those 24/7 episodes.
Right. If anybody would have one, it would be him. So there's a music festival called Aftershock that's going to be held in Sacramento, California. It's going to feature a bunch of bands: Slipknot, Shinedown, Marilyn Manson, Seether, Breaking Benjamin, Faith No More, a whole bunch. And NXT is going to be there, apparently. There's a poster that says, featuring NXT, tomorrow's superstars today. Aftershockconcert.com. Tickets go on sale May 29th. It's going to be at Gibson Ranch, October 24th and 25th of this year. So NXT will be at a metal concert. Nice. Very cool.
Don't you mean tickets are already on sale?
They're already on sale because May 29th was recently. And Eddie's dead again.
Yep. He has a habit.
Won't be the first time.
He has a habit of doing that.
Yeah. Not the first time, but it won't be the last. We just want to remind everybody. Oh, Eddie lives.
Yeah, I still live.
Oh,
Hashtag
darn.
Eddie lives.
We'll see about that. Yeah, so let's see. That's it for the news. All right. So
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. It was the Memorial Day episode, so it opened up with a your typical WWE Memorial Day veterans, Ronald Reagan speech, America. Very nice.
And of course, it also opened with a 20-minute Authority promo.
So the Authority, all of them, come to the ring. Seth calls Dean Ambrose a thug for extorting his title shot. Says it was under duress. Triple H says it was a verbal agreement only. So he makes Dean come to the ring to sign a contract. But of course he doesn't make it easy. Dean comes out, says something about J&J security being barefoot, Kane wearing a collar, another Justin Bieber reference. Seth actually defended the Justin Bieber comparison, taunted Dean. Dean responded with a human centipede reference, which I don't know, that was gross. Dean circles the ring, and then Roman comes out. Now hold on just a minute there, players. Impromptu tag team match. Teddy Long would be proud. That's what it was. He was, he said that they should be barefoot like the hobbits they are. So that impromptu tag team match was Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Kane, with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns being the victors. It was a random tag team match. I don't know.
Wasn't much to it.
It was like, no. I tuned out during most of that, so I don't really know what happened. Actually, you know what? I tuned out so much that I thought it was a singles match between Dean and Seth. And I saw Roman attack Kane outside the ring, and I thought he was just interfering or something. And then they won, and I saw Roman on the corner, and they announced them both as the winners. And I was just like, what? I didn't realize it was a tag team match. That's how little I pay attention to those things. Afterwards, Renee Young interviewed her boyfriend, Dean Ambrose, which, are they still dating?
As far as I know, they are.
Right now? Yeah.
Yeah, they're still dating.
Yeah. This was the infamous punch the cameraman spot. They bleeped out the word "God damn it," and they did so repeatedly throughout the night, but they didn't mute like the raw audio. They muted the entire broadcast every single time, so they would mute out they muted Michael Cole at one point, which was weird. I don't know why they couldn't just mute out the footage instead of the broadcast. Kind of weird. Rusev is Bulgarian once again. He kind of dropped the whole Russia thing, I guess. He's the Bulgarian brute once again. It was funny. I thought there was something wrong with the color on my TV because I saw the flag. I saw that it was white, green, and red instead of white, blue, and red. And I thought that there was something wrong with the color of my TV. And then I realized that was the Bulgarian flag. So he's back. He crushed R-Truth. Crushed in a match. R-Truth, another appearance.
Don't you mean another job for R-Truth?
Yes. Yep. Another job appearance. After the match, Rusev asked Lana back to the ring.
Lana.
Basically
Lana.
told her that he wanted to hear those 3 words,
You dumb mother.
which turned out to be, I was wrong.
You dumb old mother.
Lana didn't like that and slapped him. Stood up for herself, gave this whole speech about being her own woman, no one owns her, and then walked right up to the ramp and kissed Dolph Ziggler.
It was really weird to see Rusev begging.
Yeah. That was kind of... It was creepy.
I mean, he was pleading with Lana to come out there and forgive him and let everything go back to how it was before. And she actually accepted at first, and then he did the, I want to hear those 3 words.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot to mention they teased a reunion, but the fans weren't liking that. But yeah, Lana came out to her own theme once again, which I haven't heard in months. The what's it called? Attention. That's it.
What was it on the YouTube editor? It was like Dante's teeth or something, wasn't it?
Dante's teeth.
I think that was a different theme. That I think
it was the same, but like a different mix of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, afterwards, Dean Ambrose gets arrested, but he says that this is the first time, so he'll be back. After that, Ryback versus King Barrett. Ryback wins. I tuned out completely during that match.
Yeah.
Again.
I can't watch a Ryback match.
Yeah. This Raw wasn't really that good. Triple H then says that Dean is on his way to Central Booking and won't make it back in time to sign the contract. The cast of Entourage comes in. Yay. They have a few awkward moments with the Authority, and then they leave. It was funny because I don't know their names. I'm just going to say guy number 3 mentions that he has a scene with Ronda Rousey. He gets beat up by her, but his scene was fake, whereas Stephanie's encounter at WrestleMania 31 wasn't. But it was wrestling, so it actually was fake. So, logic, fail. Yes.
And don't forget, Zack Ryder made like 3 appearances on Raw.
Yeah, Zack Ryder was. That's coming up. Or was he there? I don't know. I only know the 2.
I wanted him to win the belt.
So then the next match was Stardust versus Neville. Before the match, Stardust hissed at Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow on the show Arrow. Stephen Amell responded on Twitter after Raw. He posted a few pictures of his encounter with Stardust at ringside and challenged him. So apparently for the past few years...
This will go nowhere.
Yeah, I mean... Unless... They're not going to get permission to... Because I was going to say, if Stephen Amell dressed up as the Arrow and then challenged Stardust that way, I would actually love to see that. I would love that. That would be awesome. Because I love Arrow. But I don't think they can get the rights for that or anything. So it's... I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Stephen Amell will guest host one day and have words with Stardust. Who knows? So Neville beat Stardust in that match. Neville was victorious against Stardust. After the match, Bo Dallas came out, told Neville that he needs to believe, and then drop-kicked his knee. Victory lap afterwards. Victory lap.
I believe. Do you believe?
Oh.
We all believe.
I want to believe.
Eddie believes.
Yeah, damn right I believe.
If you
I want his Bo key back.
believe...
I think he's dead again. I believe.
Did you die
I
again?
believe that Eddie has died.
Stop saying that. God.
Eddie, do you believe?
I believe. I said that for the 5th time. God damn it!
You were muted. You were muted, so it doesn't count.
You sure?
Yeah.
So next, so the Entourage cast they were walking around backstage. They ran into the Divas, and then they disappeared into a room with Zack Ryder, leaving the women in the dust.
Woo!
Zack Ryder was more important than the Divas.
Zack Ryder.
I mean, obviously.
Damn right.
It's Zack Ryder. I mean, come on.
Any day of the week. You're damn right. They were especially in Long Island. The home of the Long Island ICC. Zack Ryder.
Very Long Island. So the next match was Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler again. Sheamus won. We've probably only seen this like 2 or 3 times, but I feel like we've seen it a million times, and it's going to become the next Cena versus Orton, where it's just constantly those two. I really want to see a Rusev-Ziggler feud, and they're definitely building up to that, which is good. I want to see that at Money in the Bank. Actually, if they could use the Money in the Bank as a way for them to feud, like if Rusev won the Money in the Bank match, first of all, that'd be awesome. And then Dolph Ziggler could try to get it from him, maybe win it in a match or something, to like prove that he's worthy to Lana or some shit like that. That'd be pretty good. Next was the United States Championship Open Challenge. Cena basically said that instead of chanting "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," that they're going to chant "Let's go Cena, fight Owens, fight," which probably won't. Then he tells us that "fight Owen, fight" doesn't necessarily mean win Owens, win. Logic from John Cena there.
How about kill Owens, kill? Wait, too soon.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. That's murder.
Too soon.
Kick, Lynch, kick. How about misspell, Hideo, misspell?
Yes.
What are the
Job,
chances?
writer, job.
Hey. No, that was bad of you. At least he was on Raw.
But it was true.
See, my point proven.
So Cena issues his challenge, and the cast of Entourage come out again. They didn't answer the challenge, but they introduced Zack Ryder, who then fought John Cena for the United States Championship. John Cena beats Zack Ryder. I don't think anybody expected anything else to happen. And then after, Owens came in and pop-up powerbombed Cena, and he stomped on the U.S. belt. Belt flag stomping on Memorial Day. Of all days, you traitorous scum. And held up the NXT title in victory. Or just held it up. Afterwards, Renee asked the Authority about her boyfriend, Dean Ambrose. Stephanie says that Dean will get his chance to sign if he can make it back in time from jail. Hint, hint. Afterwards, Tamina versus Paige. Tamina won, thanks to, what was it, Nikki Bella slapped Paige? And just a simple slap is all it takes to lose a match.
I did not watch that match, actually.
Me either.
I did not.
Sorry,
did not care a single bit.
Yeah. Now hold on a minute there, players. Here comes another impromptu match. The New Day versus everyone in the Elimination Chamber match opposite the New Day. It was a 10-on-3 match. So the other 5 teams, oh, of course, they still won. They defeated all 10 of the other guys. I know, another match that Teddy Long would be very proud of. And then they announced that Miz TV returns on Sunday with guest Daniel Bryan. Yes.
Hey, Eddie.
Feel free to jump in.
What?
New Day sucks. New Day sucks.
New Day rocks. New Day rocks.
New Day sucks.
New Day rocks. New Day rocks.
Anyway.
No input from Richard.
I chanted a little bit.
Richard, be on my side. Be on my side.
New Day is okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. Afterwards, we see a fake YouTube page that shows a backstage clip that reveals that Seth Rollins set up Dean Ambrose. Duh. Pretty sure we all kind of figured that. Afterwards, the Authority comes out yet again. Steph claims that the cameraman is a new father to triplets. Yeah, okay. Triple H starts to speak, but Roman Reigns comes out to attack Seth Rollins and company. Dean returns in a police van with nightsticks and a cop costume. That was the quickest jailbreak ever. Dean and Roman then clean house, chasing the Authority away. Roman grabs the contract and gives it to Dean to sign. You know, I was really hoping that Roman would actually just take it and sign it himself, but that wouldn't make much sense.
I kind of expected it.
Yeah, I was like, that would be the perfect opportunity. No, he's just going to be a face. Okay, great.
What did you What did you two think of the Big Bros man?
Oh yeah, the Big Bros man. Come on, Eddie, keep up. I loved it. All right, and then afterwards, apparently Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton in a dark match main event. Which is weird because, I don't know why. Maybe they just didn't have time for them. I don't know. Or maybe they wanted to give. Oh, no, you know what? They wanted to give the fans probably a great last match because it's the last show at that arena.
This is the final match that will ever happen there.
Right, yeah.
And of course, Orton won.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Eddie, for all the crap that you're pulling, I'm gonna go ahead and kill you right now. And Eddie's dead. All right, so up next is our interview with the Blossom Twins, Hannah and Holly. All right, so we're here with this week's guests. You've seen them on TNA and on OVW. They are Hannah and Holly, the Blossom Twins. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. Was this? I
That's
got
your cue.
quiet. Sorry. I didn't realize. I missed my cue.
It's all right.
All right. So, welcome to the XyCast, and we want to thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us on.
We usually have 3 hosts, but one of our hosts is off doing something else. What's he? Do you know what he's doing, Richard?
He's dead.
No, he's not.
No, I don't know. I'm assuming he's somewhere important, more important than this.
I think he was going to a wrestling show or something.
Probably, yeah. He's always he's always going to those. He's one of those wrestling fans, you know.
Those kind of people.
Yeah. Nerds.
Well, he's a huge, massive TNA fan, and he left us some questions that he wanted us to ask you.
Okay, that's awesome.
What was it like working for TNA?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, the first thing we sort of did with them, I guess, was boot camp. So that was kind of like otherworldly. Like, we had such a blast doing that. So it was different, I guess, to the introduction that
most people have. Yeah, because we had like the obviously, if you'd seen the episodes, we had the razzmatazz.
Yeah, we got to ride in limos and do all the fun training sessions and go to the Hall of Fame. So it was a nice kind of intro to it, and then obviously it was back to business and down to all the hard work once we'd actually kind of signed with them. Well, it was hard work when we did boot camp, but we had more of like the close-knit family kind of thing for a couple of weeks, so that's something that we really, really enjoyed about that side of it. So, yes.
Awesome.
How did you actually get put on British Boot Camp?
We'd had a tryout back in January of that year. We'd started doing boot camp, I think, late August and October, and we'd had a tryout. We'd gone to the MEN Arena, and we'd kind of wrestled for them. So I think we were on the radar from then on. And then I think it was at the end of August, September maybe, we got a phone call from Jeremy Borash, who was talking to us about the concept that they were thinking of and what they wanted to do. And we kind of just had to send stuff in, make sure they, had everything they needed, and then wait and see what happened.
All right, excellent. What are your thoughts on the eventual Season 1 winner, Rockstar Spud?
Oh, see, we have a soft spot for Spud because we've known him for like years. We originally, when we were in the UK wrestling for 5 years, he was one of the people who came to Future Shock Wrestling where we trained, and he wrestled on the shows a few times, and we didn't really get to know him very much then, and it wasn't until maybe a few years later that we started training with a different company, and he was there all the time, and he was the top babyface. So we would literally have lessons and learn from him about how to be a babyface, selling, facial expressions, just everything. So we'd kind of met him a few times going to those shows, and eventually when boot camp came along, it was like, oh, hey, Spud.
Well,
And
we didn't really spend much time together. Well, no, we did the odd time. But then for boot camp, we got to spend every day with him, 24/7.
But
he's just awesome. And he was truly like just
a rock star.
the right person to go with. He was really, really just everything was. I can't say awesome too many times. Like, he was just great, and he really deserved to win. So, yeah.
Do you guys think you'll ever go back to TNA, or do you have other plans for the future?
I think of right now, we say never as far as stepping into a ring again. I don't think it will be anytime soon or with TNA, like a company is to that level. I think there's just a lot of things we want to do right now, and we're very kind of family orientated right now. So the idea of being on the road is a little bit like we don't see ourselves doing that anytime soon.
We like being again.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of being family-oriented, Hannah is actually married to fellow wrestler Chris Silvio, and Holly is married to referee Chris Sharp, who a lot of people know as the Brie Bella guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Dog Carl.
Yeah, Hot Dog Carl. So, how'd you guys meet?
We met them both at OVW 7 years ago. Well, 7 years ago. And it was just training. We just trained with them all the time. Chris Silvio was actually somebody who we were inspired by, like, from the get-go. Like, he was one of our best friends from the moment we can.
Well, no, we have a funny story with that one.
Go on.
Because
Hannah can do this one. Yeah, go on.
Lucy, I'll say Lucy. We actually did not like him when we first came to OVW because he was mean, and he'll laugh at me for saying this because he goes, I wasn't being mean, and we were petrified of him because he just pushed us and took us way out of our comfort zone as far as like just training goes. And then after the 3 months that we were originally here, we just loved him because we loved getting in the ring with him, we just loved wrestling, we loved talking to him about wrestling, and he made us like the wrestlers that we wanted to be, sort of thing.
He didn't take any nonsense. He pushed you and made you be the best that you could be. So we quickly became like good friends. Because I think you always find yourself attracted to people who you have the same kind of thought process.
Yeah.
Right.
And he really did just want us to be the best that we could be, and so that kind of created like a friendship for us. And then like 6 years later, it's like, there we go. So that's how like me and Chris got together. We've just been best friends for the longest time, and
as far as the other Chris, it was like we had different things that we liked more. So that was what got us first talking. The fact that he noticed that we like other things like Disney and all that kind of stuff, and then we just obviously like training, and we're with each other all the time. And yeah, we met here, and then obviously we became best friends like first and foremost, and it just kind of grew from there, and we've been together like 6 years now, so pretty much since we got here.
Awesome.
Can't get rid of him. Is that confusing with all the Chris's? You have to kind of split it up. Which Chris are we talking about then?
Right.
And I forgot Chris 1 and Chris 2, so it doesn't help. My Chris is 1 because we started dating first. That's Kelly, Holly, whoever you said, and then Lucy's Chris is Chris 2.
No. Chris.
Oh, no. Okay, we're
to
going to confuse. Yeah. Okay, that would be even confusing. Our brother's called Chris 2, so he's technically Chris 1. My Chris, Kelly's Chris, is Chris 2, and Lucy's Chris is Chris 3.
A lot of Chris.
If that makes any sense. Need to be taking notes.
Yeah.
At what point did you know for sure that you wanted to be in the wrestling business?
We've been asked this question like loads, and sometimes it's hard because we don't actually, both of us look at each other and go, we know we were 12 when we started watching it and 14 when we'd made up our minds, but there wasn't a specific like time, place, date or anything. We just watched it constantly. We're absolutely hooked on it, addicted to the Hardy Boys and everything to do with wrestling, to the point where one day when we were old enough, we were like on the internet on our little like timely daily slots of being allowed to connect to the internet, looking up going to wrestling school, and we didn't really talk to each other about it. Like, hey Lucy, do you want to be a professional wrestler? It was just both of us were on the same path of looking it up, figuring out how we could do it. So that I think it just clicked. I think everything kind of came together when we became wrestling fans. That it was just in our blood, and like from then we were always going to be wrestlers. Like we didn't even have to think about it.
What made you decide to go to OVW specifically?
Oh, that was Nick Dinsmore. He came to do a few training sessions in England, and he was at Future Shock one day, and he came to just train, and we remember just working really, really hard, asking him lots of questions, and then before we left, he came up to us and said, have you ever thought about going to OVW? At the time, they didn't have many girls at all, so he said it would be a really good experience for us. And I think at that point we'd been training in England and doing shows in England for 5 years. So we talked to him and kind of got his email address, kept in contact, and that was in, I want to say, June of 2008. And at the end of August 2008, we went for a week. I think it was just a week, and we just loved it. I think we did 3 shows, trained 4 times that week, and we just loved it. And then Danny Davis had said to us, if you'd like us to come back, and the rest is history. I think it was the following year we set about going for our first 3 months, and we didn't look back.
Yeah, I met you guys there. I want to say 2011 maybe. I'm not really sure. I went to a TV taping and got pictures with you guys there.
Yes, I remember that, because I'm pretty sure I remember the pictures, because I'm like, we look so little, like with our blonde hair and clown makeup.
what do you each consider to be the highlight of your career so far?
Ooh, gosh, it's funny because a lot of the things, we've had so many fun things that we just enjoy looking back on going, it was just fun, like for because we did it for 9 years, and obviously, it was just what we'd always dreamed of. So we always try and we love reminiscing about things we've accomplished because we like being those positive people who go, don't think about negative things or what you could have done, shoulda, woulda, coulda, just what we have done. And boot camp was obviously one of the biggest things, just the whole experience and getting to, meet the people. Because we'd always known who Hulk Hogan was, and even now sitting here thinking we wanted to wrestle since we were 12, and then we got to do boot camp with Hulk Hogan, who would say our name on, like, British television morning shows, and we'd be like, that's Hulk Hogan saying the Blossom Twins. Ollie Willoughby, and on this morning, and it's like, and something that we watch, and that was amazing. And one of the things that's a highlight just that came from wrestling was being on A League of Their Own, which is a show back home, because we watched that constantly with our dad. So to have our dad watch this show, this sports quiz show going,
and that the guy who does that show is James Corden, who's just recently kind of
in America,
blown up in America.
Doing the Late Late Show.
Yeah, so that was just a dream come true for us.
We stepped in the ring and got to blossom bomb him and do and have him clothesline us, and obviously it's separate to having like a match, but it was such a cool experience to say you've been on A League of Their Own.
And I think it's funny as well, like we can say all those kind of big things, but I think every week for us at OVW, when we were even just at training, like it sounds silly, but because we were just always so focused on wrestling and being wrestlers, it's like every week at training we accomplished something new and accomplished like a goal, like whether it was just understanding something Rip Rogers said and the next week you go back and it clicked. It was like, obviously it's all about the entertainment and wrestling in front of crowds and things, but sometimes even to just get in the ring and have a 20-minute match on the fly in front of the guys and like Rip, to know that your brain was able to do stuff like that and from where you started, that was always like an accomplishment to us just in ourselves, because we grew so much as people, like knowing what you were capable of. So sort of every week with him was just awesome, and kind of like highlights to look back and think how far you'd come in 9 years.
Awesome.
Who was your biggest inspiration in wrestling? Like, who did you mostly look up to when you were younger?
When we first got into it, it was definitely the Hardy Boys. Like, we were obsessed, but we just wanted to be like them. We like ran around the house, and they were brothers, we were sisters. We were just like, we were going to do everything like them. So, being a tag team and following in their footsteps was just everything to us. Over the years, like when we came to OVW, we were obviously very inspired by Rip Rogers and the guys themselves. Like we say, Chris Silvio, he was somebody who just inspired us with his work ethic, how he trained, like how much he loves wrestling, because I don't think there's a day I can get through without hearing wrestling or watching it, because it's always on. So he was very influential. Yeah. And then we've kind of gone through phases, because we used to study the Rockers and Shawn Michaels all the time growing up. And like now, like I absolutely adore Macho Man, and like I'll watch Bruno Sammartino, and there's just loads of different people that we get inspired by, and we've kind of pulled different things from. And even now, just being a fan, like I'm just like obsessed with all things Macho Man, and I'll watch tapes constantly. So yeah, anybody who like now you watch it and you have just an appreciation and understanding of how good they were, the old guys were, who just knew how to tell a story. And I think that's where me and Lucy have always been like fascinated by how good they got the crowd with just the way they did everything and the characters. And we watch like Macho, most of the time it's like Sunday mornings Macho Man DVD, no matter how many times you've watched it, and it's just fun.
Awesome.
All right, you have anything that you want to ask, Richard?
Not really. I'm still kind of new at this, so I haven't really thought of a lot of questions to ask. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry.
All right,
That's no problem.
I do want to thank you guys for coming on a fledgling podcast like ours. Hopefully, we'll make it big. But thank you for deigning to come on our show.
Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate so much you ask us to come on to it, and that's no problem. And dream big, like keep doing it and keep working hard with it. Hope you get to have fun with it and everything.
Oh yeah. as we do more shows, I'm pretty sure we'll. I mean, I'm already more comfortable with this. Our first show we ended up having a lot more fun than I thought. So this will be good. All right. Well, thank you both, Hannah and Holly, for coming on the XyCast.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having us, and you have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you.
You too.
Bye. Bye.
So before I forget, I wanted to plug two things for the Blossom Twins. First, their YouTube channel, which is called Life is Sweet. So if you search on YouTube for the phrase Life is Sweet, you'll get the Blossom Twins channel. And they also have a blog, sweetisalwaysinstyle.blogspot.com. We will link to both of those on the podcast page on which this episode will appear on thexycast.com. All right, you know what? I think we should revive Eddie right now. So let me just get these out right here. There you go, Eddie. Welcome back. This week's top 5 is the top 5 independent wrestlers that we love. I don't even know 5, so I'm not going to participate, unfortunately. But let's just say that our next top 5, I definitely will. So Eddie or Brian, if you want to list your top 5 independent wrestlers.
All right. My top 5 indie wrestlers right now. No particular order here. I got to go with Dylan Bostic. He used to be in OVW. I don't know if he still is or not, but he's wrestling everywhere. He's been on SmackDown before when they were building up Ryback when he was new, and he kept doing those matches against like 2 and 3 people at a time. Dylan Bostic was one of the guys in one of those matches. But aside from that, he's doing big things in the indies. Another one I have to say is XyZaya. XyZaya, extremely talented. He's wrestled in a few like not huge companies, but known companies. I think he's wrestled for JCW actually. But I saw him wrestle once at a show a couple years ago, and that's when I started being a fan, when I actually saw him wrestle live. Third, some might argue that this isn't really an indie wrestler because he has been in WWE before, but Sin Bodhi he's pretty awesome. He has a good gimmick. He kind of lives his gimmick actually, and he started a company called Freak Show Wrestling, and they've had a lot of big names come through there, and they kind of have their own roster, I guess. So definitely check out Freak Show Wrestling if you haven't. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. Fourth, Michael Hayes. No, not the Freebird. I feel every time I mention him, I feel I have to point out that I am not talking about Freebird Michael Hayes.
Yeah, not P.S. Hayes.
Yeah, definitely not Michael P.S. Hayes. Michael Hayes, who used to be in OVW. I think he kind of stopped wrestling after whatever happened between him and OVW. He's not there anymore, but he, as I mentioned on a prior episode, he did submit a video to the Tough Enough competition, and they actually showed him on the commercial that they show during SmackDown last week or the week before. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. But they showed him on that, and I was like, oh, it's Michael Hayes. That's awesome. So I'm still hoping that he gets on there. Finally, this is a tag team, Jake and Dave Christ, who are known in JCW as the Ring Riders, and other companies they've wrestled for. They've been known as the Irish Airborne and Ohio is for Killers. So they're honestly of all the tag teams I've ever seen, big companies or in the indies, they're close to the top for me. They're really, really good. Just look them up on YouTube. I'm really hoping I can get them to come on for a future episode, because they seem like they would be really, really cool to talk to. They'd be good guests. So who knows? Maybe they'll hear this and say they want to be on.
Awesome. That'd be cool. All right, Eddie.
So yeah, speaking of the Irish Airborne, if you actually look up Hybrid Wrestling TV episode 1, I am actually like right in the front row for like the next 7 or 8 episodes. So if you want to see a young me, there you go. And I saw
a young you as opposed
I think I saw Dave or Jake Chris back in 2013. I want to say Dave. I don't remember. So this past weekend, May 22nd at Mount Carmel School in Cleveland, last Friday, was the AIW JT Lightning Invitational 2015. Now, of course, it's a memorial show and you're supposed to like pay tributes and whatnot. AIW did not do a tribute video, did not do anything about that. So that, But the reason why we may never go to another AIW, and I don't want to badmouth them, I really don't want to, say bad things about them, but they've opened 30 minutes late this show, and back in April, 30 minutes late twice within a month. Don't forget they had Mickey James, the Young Bucks, and EC3 at the April show. And now this 30 minutes late. We paid $90 to this JT Lightning Invitational show, and we were treated like what. I'm not going to knock the wrestlers. I'm not going to knock, them. But honestly, the management needs to change. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to badmouth the AIW in any type of way. But they seriously need to change their management and open on time. I've noticed with their Absolution tickets, they have bell time of 7:30. No time of doors opening. So with that being said, I don't hate AIW to a point, but it's just they need to seriously change their management and open on time. Plus, we went to 5 or 4 previous before this, and November had no heat, and every other time they have opened late. And they also ended almost all shows later than 12:30 or a little after midnight. Both times, just past Friday and back in April. They've ended past midnight. Especially when you open the doors at 7:15, and when they're supposed to open at pretty much 6:30. I know it's 45 minutes, but you know what I mean. They're open late each time. So, to the people that defend AIW, do whatever you want. But you will probably never see or hear me at another AIW event unless their management changes and unless it's a very big name that we want to see. Like, for example, an EC3 or a Rockstar Spud and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I have friends that go to the AIW shows in Cleveland, so I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm not really going to badmouth AIW again. But, you know what I mean? If you pay $90 to, $60, the doors need to open at like 6:30 or maybe 6:35 at the latest, and not 7:15, 7:20. Say, oops, we were setting up something or we were doing something. So, that's that. So, with that being said, let's go right back into what I was talking about. And this was my, minute or so or a couple of minutes of my own self. And when we go talk about the Indie Top 5, I'm not going to include any AIW wrestlers due to the reason of their management. If their management changes or if their management was nice, I would bring up a couple of their names. So with that being said, let's go right back into what I was talking about. So that's why I'm not counting any AIW wrestlers due to what I talked about seconds ago. This list will be in no particular order. I'm counting them as they are indie guys and not signed to TV. Example, I like Matt Cross, but I'm not going to count him on the list due to the fact he's signed to the El Rey Network, aka Lucha Underground. Mainly ASWA guys, but I will definitely plug their show. So Jimmy Lee, you have to pay up some royalties because I've been bugging you about this for about 2 years now. So give me the money. Anyway, again, no particular order. Manson Crane for Champ 2015 is trending on Twitter as we speak. trending on Facebook, and all that. It's worldwide. Number 2, Slush Taylor, which is a guy that deserves that tough enough spot more than Michael Hayes, but that's debatable. Not Freebird Michael Hayes. The Living Nightmare Jimmy Lee, again, a promotion for you, so give me the money. June 6th. Joey Vengeance, which also turned in a tough enough video this past Tuesday, which he also deserves that spot too. He was a Rosebud on Raw, so. And then the 5th one is a little too hard for me to list, but I honestly can't choose a 5th. But honorable mentions are Marcus Scott, JJ DeVille, Izzy Lambert, Gregory Iron, just to name a few more. And speaking of the June 6th show, which I should actually get Jimmy Lee to plug it here. The next ASWA show is June 6th at the Malabar Gymnasium in Mansfield, Ohio. If you are in the general, say, hour and a half radius of Mansfield, do come out to the show. Very great talent there. Everything. The first steel cage match since 89 or 90 or something like that. So if you're in the area, do come out to that. And, of course, I'll be representing Xylot for a little bit. So, it's a win-win-win. And Jimmy Lee, do pay up the money that you owe me, or I will come to your show. With derp. And that's that for me. Straight down to the point.
Awesome.
I don't go on and on and on.
Well, you heard him, folks. Go meet XyCast co-host Eddie K.
Damn right. I'll be signing autographs, taking photos, kissing babies, all that. The photos with me are $10 a piece because I'm a Destination America star. Remember that brand. I made it on the one episode twice, so.
Next week's guest is Big Bully Busick. We're going to have him on for episode 4. That's going to be pretty interesting and exciting. So, yeah, he'll be our guest next week. And that's all the time we have for today.
New
I
Day
have
sucks.
been...
New Day rocks.
Yes.
Teenage not being canceled.
New Day is... Okay, I like to watch them sometimes. Not all the time. It's enough.
New Day would be okay if they were on their own and not as a team.
New Day needs a little bit more time.
I'm surprised that he All right, are we done?
Are we?
Did Richard leave?
Richard! Coming soon to Xylot Themes, Eddie K's greatest hits from the XyCast. John Cena.